The Garnet and Old Show live on a Sunday at 1:51 p.m. after some interesting happenings over the last few days. I'm Vince VC Knoll. We got Ryan Big Papa East coming to you live actually from outside his new compound in Georgia, and
Yeah. I hope it's not just me, Vince, but you sound like a robot Tin Man, but it could just be that I'm using my iPad.
I hope that's not the case, but we're just going to have to go with it no matter
Hold on.
what. Looks like Ryan's going to go offline here for a moment. Hopefully he'll be back. But we've decided to, after the happenings of today, that we've all been waiting to hear something, and we definitely heard something. And that something is not a good something, in my opinion, and I don't think in Ryan's opinion either. Um, that Florida State put out a statement not that long ago that Coach Norvell would be coming back. And so, Ryan, I'll let you kind of riff on this a little bit. I need to get into our YouTube studio here real quick. So go ahead.
You go right ahead, Vince. I decided to light a cigar, not in celebration, but almost like a funeral. Um, this is what happens when a once great program has no hope. So, the statement that they said today, which, by the way, ironically, and we were making fun of this yesterday in our live, they said that at the end of the year, after all is said and done, they're going to reevaluate everything. Well, that didn't even happen. Um, they didn't wait till the end of the year. Uh, they did it now for no reason. I hope I'm not crazy, Vince. All I see is a white screen. Are you still there?
Yeah, am I not there? You can't see me?
All I see is a white screen on my end.
Oh, well, as far as I know, it's working here. So if we're not showing up in the chat, let us know.
Yeah, really weird. But what do you think, Vince?
Yeah, I assumed, and we talked about it on our show on Thursday, that that if anything, anything short of some kind of embarrassment, that he was probably going to be retained. But there was an embarrassment. There was an embarrassment. And that embarrassment did not result in the thing that I thought would happen. I mean, what we saw happen on Friday night was not anything that we as a program can be proud of, and that's frustrating. That did not result in what needed to happen with the program. It is time. It is time to move on. I know I was embarrassed by that, Ryan. I know you were.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know for a fact that anything was going to happen today, as far as like Norvell getting fired or anything like that, because I was kind of taking them at their word that they would wait until the end of the season as the most likely scenario, especially after we heard nothing yesterday and you didn't even hear any rumors. That's been the most startling. That's when I started to get worried about this whole thing. Is we haven't even heard like the normal scuttlebutt, like what we're hearing around the program, or names being mentioned. Like usually, if there is any consideration of even possibly moving on, you start hearing some of the speculation. Um, and you didn't hear any of that. And what you attributed to on last week's show, Vince, you said we got to give them credit for one thing. They're keeping everything very tightly knit and tight. So what it actually sounds like is no, they're not doing that. It's just there was nothing more to report.
Well, I mean, I guess that's true. I guess that's true. But if there was nothing more to report, why not? Why not just cut it all off earlier, right? And
Yeah,
because
sure.
everybody's been going crazy.
Yeah.
What's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? And that, why let your fan base continue to fester in the wind? I just don't understand that.
Yeah, if this was always going to be the decision, which based on the, would you say based on the announcement, Vince, today,
Yeah.
this was going to be it 5 weeks ago?
Yeah, I
I
think
mean,
so.
you
I
have to
mean,
imagine that, right? Or else this is just pointless.
yeah, if you sound, I mean, if you, if you were never going to change, right? Short of him like some kind of egregious, HR related problem, right?
Yeah.
Anything short of that, if you were not going to make a change regardless, if you were going to completely fumble all over yourself on every away game this season, and it didn't matter how it looked, and it didn't matter. I mean, you could score 3 points, you could score 11, you could score 35, and it didn't matter. None of it mattered. Then just say that weeks ago.
Yeah, 5 weeks ago,
Just
come
say
out and
it.
say, we understand this will be a tough year, and we've already had some tough times. No matter what, we plan on retaining Mike Norvell through the season and through next season, right? That would be the call.
That would be the again. All you're doing is making you're postponing the anger and the frustration to a later time. But I don't see the benefit of that because it didn't matter whether you're going to get the anger or the frustration after Stanford, or you're going to get it now, or you're going to get it. This is the way I am, Ryan. Like, let's just get it all out there and let's get past this so we can move on, right? Why continue to let the fan base, at least the online part of the fan base, go at each other for over a month? It just doesn't make any sense to me.
I actually argue that you're going to get a more toxic version of the fan base waiting until right now and then putting out that kind of statement, which, by the way, can I tell you what pissed me off the most? Wasn't even the statement itself that he's coming back. It was, if this was the decision for a while, and clearly it was, you should have had like 2 to 3 bullet points of what will be different, like the areas. Like, hey, going forward, we're restructuring things around these 3 points. One, a restructuring of Mike Norvell's contract uh, to provide more of a focus to retainment and student athletes. Two, an increased spending on NIL. Three, a revamp of our scouting and prospecting process, including hiring additional staff to help us with this. Like, give the people something. Do the old Michael Scott. We're going to have a 30-point plan, 30 points, 30 days, and we're back on
30
track.
days
Like,
and do the spin.
yeah, do the spin. Always do the spin. But with the amount of time that they had, was that the most generic announcement you've ever heard?
Well, I mean, they did put something in there about re-looking at the back office. But I mean, you should be doing that every year anyway, right? They don't have the specifics yet. That's the only thing that screams to me. I mean, we as fans, Ryan, we're not going to get all the nitty gritty details of everything they're going to do to change, but at least throw the fan base a bone, right? Just something that they can hang their hat on. I've looked into this camera for over a month now, and pleaded with whoever might watch this show, do something about the recruiting. Do something about it. And they had a mention in there about that. But man, it's like that's almost like that little morsel that they gave you is too little too late, because like I said, you have the pot has been boiling. They've been
Mm-hmm.
cranking up the heat on the pot for the last 5 to 6 weeks. And it's just not, and to do that to a fan base that has shown up week after week regardless of the losses, Ryan, it's they're treading on thin ice there. I mean, we have a legacy here. you know we
Mm-hmm.
have a legacy, and I'm a booster, and I know you are too. And we are not to the level of boosters that some people are, Ryan. But I have a passion, and when I give money to things, I believe in it. I currently do not believe in what's going on right now.
What you have to imagine that this statement does not represent the big boosters. It almost seems to be in spite of them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know any big time boosters. I wish I did, because I would love to at least bend the ear off the record and like, what do you think about this? Like, is this something you're on board with? I don't think that it's probably the case.
Yeah,
And that post from uh, Dellinger that said everybody was in alignment. I don't believe that.
no,
I
no.
do not
Everyone
believe
in the
that.
administration, officially in the administration, might have been like, okay, this is the plan. Here's what we're doing. But the power brokers are those outside the administration, a lot of them. And what
Well,
it sounds like,
I'm
here's
not
what
even
it
so
feels like.
sure. I'm not even so sure that there's great alignment in the top.
Here's what it feels like, though, Vince. It feels like they are trying to do like almost like the opposite of LSU type movement is like, hey, guys, we're in control here on the administration side. We're not going to let a few big time money donors dictate here. Like, we're not that program. There could have been something like that going on in the program where it's like, people trying to do a little bit of a power struggle thing, and this administration's not having it. But here's what I worry about, Vince. Very interesting points coming off this because regardless if we like it or not, it's happening, right?
Yep, that's correct.
Um, Now, in the immediate future, it does not kill your recruiting that you already have. So if we were to have made a change, the immediate impact would have been worse on the immediate recruiting
For sure.
because then you would have had to get a new head coach. They would have had to kind of sell their brand. Who knows if it would have been a big name that anyone even recognized, right? So you do save some grace of maintaining the floor on the recruiting, and likely helps with retaining your current players. Fair?
Beautiful, beautiful floor, by the way. It's a beautiful floor.
Yeah.
Not winning any away games. None.
Wouldn't you agree? It's likely to help out on the retainment of players like the Desir twins.
Sure, absolutely is. Yes.
Yeah.
But if you're
And
right, go ahead.
but my biggest point here is if you were to put money on the table, are both assistant coaches here next year? Meaning the offensive defensive coordinator, are they here after the season?
Who knows? Who knows?
I think it's more likely that Gus Malzahn's here after the season than it is Tony White
Absolutely agree with you on that.
because of the relationship with Norvell. And
Well, and it's not like they haven't been, you know, leaps and bounds better than they were last season. The offensive side of the ball.
and doesn't I want to make it clear we're not defending any of this. We're simply
not at all.
stating, regardless on if we like it or not. With me and Vince both agree we don't like it. So it's not defending anything. We are simply stating facts of if you had a pros and a cons column, it's not zero pros. You save money. You save some initial loss of talent from the current recruiting class that you already have established, and you likely save on the player retention and probably retain some players that you might have lost because the second the coach's announcement, they're eligible to transfer immediately. All right, so those things have to be marked as pros before we talk about cons. Now, the cons going of what are you doing differently in recruiting that you haven't done up until now? And the only way, Vince, I could see anything changing from the past till now is you would bring in someone else who's good at recruiting.
Yeah.
But
Because this staff ain't it.
I would have hoped, Vince, that if that was going to be your plan, you would have something to tell people right now. Like we're hiring these 3 additional people to the staff.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, we want all the details, and there's a great chance, Ryan, because we're not used to this anymore. But there are actually teams that still are playing for things that matter.
Mm-hmm.
We're not used to that, but there are teams that are, and some of those things matter greatly. So I don't know that you can announce particular people, especially if they are, tied with another program at this time, which is undoubtedly the case,
Sure, yeah.
right? So I understand that. It's just that it's just I am completely flabbergasted, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you
I
know
think
me,
that's
I
most
have
of the media
been
sphere.
I have been not an apologist of Norvell, but I have been in the camp that that you give give the benefit of the doubt, give him the things that he needs because he is shown to be able to be successful to some extent. But after what we saw this season, after last season, and then what we saw this season, the amount of incompetence to just field a uh, a basically competent product week in and week out, it just is not there.
Yeah.
It's just not there, and that doesn't change to me.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't change to me. It's not a personal thing. It's like I said, and I like him, wanted him to do well. I think he had a lot of the pieces of who he is as a person really fit what this program should have as a head coach. But one of the things you cannot have as the head coach of Florida State is someone that does not understand how to get a team prepared week in and week out. It just you can't have it. You
Yeah.
can't have it, and that is not going to change, in my opinion.
Yeah. What's interesting about all of this, and I don't even know what happens, is you could, if I'm going to put on my devil's advocate hat. You ready? I'm going to put on I'm the administration hat. And I'm going to put on the Mike Norvell hat. If Mike Norvell was selling, why he should be retained. So, guys, this is not Big Papa East talking. This is I'm coach. Hi, I'm head coach Mike Norvell. He would say, and I promise you, these are the topics. Um, we consistently ranked in the top half of the country in both offensive defense, production wise. We had multiple one possession games. Uh, we never quit on any of the games, and it was never going to be a quick turnaround from 2-10 with how bad that went, and that should have never happened. But we it's this is going to be a climb back up to the top, and you guys, I want you along with me. That would be the pitch. Is you could if you wanted to pump yourself up in the mirror, and you wanted to look in your mirror and say, I'm the right guy still, you would say, man, couple balls go a couple different ways. We're another, at minimum, like even if you split half of them, 3 wins more right now. And you're like, man, so next year we'll get those 3 because we're going to be like, we built a little bit this year and we built a little bit next year. Let's say they beat Florida next. Who knows who's going to win that game because they got destroyed by Tennessee.
That ain't happening.
But let's say you win next week's game. You're like, well, that we more than doubled our win total.
I get it.
That's what you'd be telling yourself as Mike Norvell is like, it wasn't never going to be a quick change. It takes time. 2 brand new systems, brand new offensive and defensive coordinators. We reloaded the roster. We're still in the process of doing that. That's what he would be telling you.
Yeah. Right. Yes, because there's always a flip side, right? And you can look at that, and stats can say whatever you want them to say. I'm a big believer in that. You can take stats and twist them and tweak them in a way that's presentable in a positive light for whatever it is the story that you're trying to tell. That's just the way it is. But in the end, when you look at the amount of talent on this team, it's not a 5-6 talented roster.
No.
It's just not. Not in this league, man. It's just not. And say the blind squirrel finds a nut next week and they beat Florida because Florida ain't great, but it doesn't matter. We lost to Stanford and we lost to NC State. right? So it doesn't matter. 6-6. Go back to Coburn. 6-6 is unacceptable. It's just
Yeah.
frankly not good enough. It's just frankly not good enough. With all the money you put into the program, with all of the the leg up you have, when you have that logo, that you recruit
Yeah.
with that logo, you should never go 2-10. I mean, that shouldn't even be in the vocabulary. You did, okay? Anomaly, out the door. Then you come back this next season, and you go 6-6, which yes, or 5-6, which is yes, you have more wins than you did this past season. But what is it about the program that's different? What is it that's gotten better? What is it that, if you're the leader, if you are the person that's making this, the three people that are making decisions, what is it that you're looking for to say, you know what, we're gonna go on another ride here. We're gonna go another season. We're gonna hop on the horse. We're gonna do this one more time. What is it that you've seen
There's only
that
one thing
that can make you say, yes, this is the right decision? This is his 5th year. I know it's his 6th year. I don't count the first year. This is his 5th year. How many losing seasons have they had? How many once vaunted streaks have gone by the wayside? Every week, Ryan, we are setting a new precedent in the wrong way.
Yeah.
In the wrong way. That's, that to me, I think he's had plenty of time. I think he's had plenty of time.
To answer your question, Vince, I think the only thing that you would say that has gotten better from last year, and that I would agree with, is player sentiment and buy-in. I don't think we have a whole lot of players that are just like, I don't give it, you know what, I'm just here. I think you have a lot of players that actually really care, and we actually, all of us agree. There's plenty of this talent on this roster that we would love to retain because we're like, man, those guys are going to be awesome. Listen, I love the Desir twins. I love Danzy.
Proma. I love him.
Proma.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but the problem is, Vince, what was pop quiz? What was the record last year at Boston College?
What was the record at Boston?
What was Boston College's win-loss record last year?
Oh, I don't know.
And the year before, it seems like, despite it being a mismatched system for Mr. Castellanos, that he was more successful as a team with Boston College athletes than here. When all we heard was we were going to bring him in because we're catering the off. I mean, the offense is made for a Castellanos, man. What do we and here's where we get into the scary part of this whole situation from my point of view. I 1000% believe they're going to be able to keep Castellanos another year, and I 1000 believe he's your starting quarterback going into next year.
That's unfortunate. I have no beef with the kid.
Don't you agree that that's likely?
It's likely. It's highly likely.
Yeah.
Because he's going to get the year. Like, he's going to get it
based on precedence.
And then you says, okay, so now he's available. The question then, does Florida State want him to come back? And with the way things currently are, I agree with you. They're going to opt to take another ride with that.
Yeah.
And we've seen a very frustrating regret. I'm not talking about Tommy being hurt. That's different. But we've seen a very frustrating regression from him from game one to now in his ability to just deliver on the mechanics that are fundamental of being a quarterback.
Yeah. You know, it's crazy, Vince. I thought about this the other day. We've heard Gus has been interviewing at other random places. Who knows what's true?
Everybody's interviewing in Arkansas.
Sure. But I don't think it's 100% chance for any of our coaches being back, like assistant coaches being back next year, because they all could, if they wanted to, see brighter pastures somewhere else. Who knows? I think it's likely Gus is still here next year. But I'm just gonna be honest with you. If I was Mike Norvell, and this comes down to like you believe in yourself, right? Ultimately, like if you don't believe in yourself, we got real problems, right? If you don't believe in what you're selling, we got real problems. So I mean, you would have to imagine if you're in a head coaching position and you've made it this far into your career, you believe in what you sell, like what your brand is, right? Um, there has to be a part of Mike Norvell that's looking in the mirror and being like, I think I could run. I think my offense is better overall than my.
There's no doubt.
Then Gus, like,
There's no doubt.
You would look and be like, aside from that weird year where clearly, I brought in the wrong quarterback, we've been doing much better things than since Gus got here. So, I mean, does that play in? Does this become where maybe Norvell takes the reins back again from the offensive side and starts like calling plays again?
Who knows? Before we continue on, Ryan, I want to shout out some folks. You usually do this, but I know you're on the iPad, so it's really difficult for you to handle this. But we got
because it's
K-Dog
beautiful out
here
here.
now.
On a day like this, you
Yeah.
have to be. I mean, it's absolutely amazing today outside.
K-Dog 350 beat the Gators, go Knowles. And we'll see. I'm not too confident in that. Rock and Knoll. Hey, Rock, I hope you enjoyed your visit to Raleigh and you did not get doused with urine while you were there. But he's got some choice words here for Alfred Collins and McCullough. Sounds good on our. So my passport, my life. Thank you for that. I think we finally got our audio stuff straightened out. Thanks for joining the show, Elijah Barrera. Guys, I'm extremely disappointed and sad that the administration is keeping Mike. FSU is not a real football program by making this decision. They have regressed the brand. I'm feeling that. Man. I don't disagree with you. Jeffrey Hill had a super chat for us early in the show. He was like one of the first folks in here. Bunch of BS. My dad graduated FSU, and I've been a fan all my life. And the administration has shown they don't give a crap about the fans. I think that they give a crap about the fans. I just don't think that they have anyone that is connected in that way to help them deliver information the right way to fans. I think
Everyone,
they are lacking.
did Vince's audio just go crappy for anyone else? Just let us know in the chat.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't think they don't have that person, that marketing person to help deliver information in the way a fan is going to at least absorb without feeling like, you don't care about me. Another Kuya, I don't know, crazy times in Tally. It is what it is now. So what can they do to fix this mess? Anything?
Recruiting.
Recruiting would be what we should have been fixing for years and years and years. South Georgia Knoll 2668. Can your buddy make me a garnet and gold Georgia Southern hat? Going to need a second team to watch next year. Happy to pay for it. I will get this message to him and find me on X, and we'll see what we can do about that.
Though, to be honest with you, Georgia Southern got destroyed yesterday.
Yeah, that team was well beyond what Georgia Southern was going to be able to handle. Duval Knoll 904. I barely watched 2 plays of that game, Ryan, while we were there. A little aside here. Ryan and I, the Garnet Old team, did some serious damage in Statesboro yesterday.
What's funny is I wasn't even drunk.
Well, you were kind of tapering off there for a while because you knew you had to drive.
I started on the water train.
Duval Knoll 904. Is this a bad time to ask the AD for a new baseball stadium? Seeing we're not a serious program in football, at least fund a serious program in Link, or we'll be passed in baseball too. I mean, we're all in agreement. Hauser, has had its time, and we need something. We need something going on there too. Jake Hutchinson, 5761. FSU is done as a serious program. And he also says, pull every penny, everyone. I won't stop supporting my school. I won't. I just won't. Go ahead.
But to that point, I think it's fair to say FSU is done as being a serious program for now. because guys, next year, the athletic director to be fired, Mike could be fired, and then 5 years from now we have a whole different staff, and we're like, no, we're a serious program again. So I don't get into the hyperbolic.
Yeah, looks like we lost Ryan again here briefly. Join. Friends call me Sean. When I said it didn't matter, we fired Norvell mid-season or at the end of the year, I meant this year. And what happened to we'll evaluate everything after the season. FSU wrote a check it can't cash. And they're not, they decided that they needed to put out the statement. So no matter, folks, no matter what happens next week, no matter what happens next week, Mike Norvell is going to be the coach again in 2026.
I'm back.
You're back, Ryan. You're back.
If it happens again, I'll go to the studio. Though I'm not sure right now. I mean, what's left to say?
I'm just going through the comments.
Say your what is that thing you like to say about face down in the muck?
Yeah, we're literally, you're
in your own sick.
In a puddle of your own sick. Yeah,
that's what I feel like today, right now with this situation.
Yeah. Let's see. Tim Abel, QY5BV, am done as an FSU fan until a coaching change. That doesn't sad. Represent me. I won't do that. I'm a fan no matter what. I'm frustrated, extremely frustrated right now.
I'll be a fan watching us lose by 30 to Georgia next year.
Well, and losing next week as well. But I will continue. I will never root for the team to lose. But I do not think we are making decisions that are in the best interest of the program.
Here's a question for you, Vince. If we were to win next week, and I know that's a big if, would you be going to the bowl game?
It depends. It depends on where the bowl game would be. But if it's someplace that is easily accessible, maybe. Hey man, you know me. I support the team. Spartan Knoll, who actually is a new subscriber. I think we got Spartan Knoll. He's a subscriber to the Rock and Knoll channel, and when I was on there on Friday, our buddy Rock and Knoll pointed Spartan Knoll to our channel. So welcome. Sorry, but I've been saying for over a month they are going to keep Mike. Yeah, you're correct. Friends call me Sean says bring in Jimbo as a general manager.
That's not going to happen.
I do not want Jimbo anywhere close to this program.
I do, but that won't happen.
Let's see. Jake Hutchison, the fans and media aren't mad enough for the admin to care.
Oh, they're plenty mad enough. What do you want us to do? You want us to storm it, storm the shaman, storm the admin?
Yeah. You going with your Viking hat on?
Yeah.
I want to make sure I get some folks here that I haven't shouted out yet. Lauren Hester, look at next year's schedule. FSU will not win 3 games. Yeah.
What's weird about all that question?
Spartan Knoll's out, by the way. He has a life to live. Aloha. He actually lives in Hawaii.
I'm going to migrate to the studio. Stand by, Vince.
Yeah, you're good. Champs 998.
You want to go inside, are you?
Tommy Castellanos is not going to come back. He says only Gus wants TC back. David Thatcher, based on women's soccer, winning FSU is a soccer school. Oh, but based on women's soccer winning, FSU is a soccer school. And Brett 8078, even beating Florida doesn't justify bringing him back. No, it doesn't. It does. After Friday night, after the embarrassment of Friday night, I don't think anything.
Sleepy girl.
I just don't think there is a justifiable reason to continue on with what we're doing here. So, Champs 998, you're kind of in the camp with me here too. Have been a booster since '93 and will always back my school. Yeah, I mean, some people will say, you gotta vote. You gotta vote with your wallet, and people will do that, and you have every right to do that. And I would not fault you for that. I would just, for me, I just know that there's more to it than there's more to it for me, and I won't stop, backing the program, backing the the boosters, backing athletic department, backing the marching chiefs, as it were. So all of it. While Ryan is getting reset up in the studio there, just want to welcome everybody to the show. If you've not ever joined our show before, we go live every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. roughly. And this is kind of the way the show works normally, except that it's usually not as tense as it is today. Getting some feedback there, Ryan. Let's see. We better now? No, still getting some feedback. Oh, he was in the show twice. That's why. Sorry for the audio issues here, folks. We'll see if we can get Ryan back in. No audio yet, Ryan. There you go. Okay, you're back. But yeah, so we do a show every Thursday at 7. During the season, we're typically doing pre-games and post-game shows and things like that. Just our mantra, so you guys know, if you are new here, Ryan and I are first and foremost just complete and utter fans of the program. So we don't ever claim to have any inside info. Sometimes, occasionally we do. The contacts thing, we do have some contacts. But, it has never stopped us from doing a show. So that's why it's no problem. So that's our mantra. And, it just seemed like a good idea after that statement came out today to hop on here for a couple minutes to give everybody a chance to kind of let us know how you're feeling. So, and I think it's been pretty obvious how frustrated I am. I went live Friday after the game, and I don't typically do that. Again, embarrassment is the only thing that is the term that I focused on for Friday night.
I like them. FYI, Vince, when I logged into the browser, it made me change our Garnet Google passwords. I'm going to send you for your records the new password. Just adding an exclamation. So that's what you do when you have to.
Here's some positivity. Here's some positivity.
Jameis Winston just threw a touchdown?
No, the Noles advanced in a 3-1 win over Georgetown. That's the women's soccer team, so that's good. They're continuing on in their march, hopefully toward a title. Breeze Fry checking in only to check out. What's up, Breeze?
Yeah, Vince.
And Duval Knoll. 2-10 can happen again, according to Duval Knoll, 904. Duval Knoll, I'm a fellow Northeast Florida resident.
What's funny is that as crazy as it was that we never saw 2-10 coming, I know it seemed impossible, and I would never predict this. But you watch, next year we come out and we're like, we think this is going to be like the Depression era, and we win like 10 games, and you're like, what the fuck? Because college football is weird.
Yeah, it is.
Here's what I'm going to celebrate.
I will be excited about next season. I will, because I love football season. I love it. Never wish it away.
Here's what I'm excited about, though. Jameis Winston, 9 for 14 right now, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns.
There you go.
He's eating the W. He just did a flea flicker.
Did he? He ran the flea flicker?
They run the flea flicker, and he had to sidestep, because when it got thrown back to him, the guy was literally coming at him to hit him hard. He sidestepped him, a la the BC game in 2013, and then threw a 60-yard bomb for a touchdown. Because of course. You have to find joy around the Florida State.
Pull him now.
You have to find the joy around the Florida State program, around the periphery. Generally, you find joy Florida State like directly with football as it currently stands. But when that's going south, you have to find joy in the memories, the nostalgia, players that used to play for Florida State that are in the NFL, baseball, basketball. You have to find the accoutrement to get you by.
Absolutely. Yeah. And there are plenty. Hey, this isn't all this isn't all, negativity here. I mean, we're talking about the football program. I don't think it's going in a direction that is, ultimately where we need to go.
Just pain.
Just pain. But
Pain everywhere.
throughout the rest of the athletic department and other areas of the university, there's really not much to complain about there. So,
how many on a scale from 1 to 10? How hard will it be to sell season tickets going into next year?
I mean, you'll get some people that'll drop for sure, because hey, let's face it, people have lost confidence in the administration at this point. There are a pocket of people that are like that. But as the season gets closer, people will, time heals and people will latch back on. A lot of people will latch back on. So
I like them.
You all right? You all right, Ryan?
I'm feeling awesome. The color's terrible in here because it's the middle of the day, and we never shoot in the middle of the day. So everything you set up lighting wise for the nighttime is opposite.
Right.
I'm in the upside down right now for Stranger Things fans. But Vince, I meant to ask you, have you never watched Stranger Things? You watched one episode.
I watched the first season. First season was great. Then I started watching the second season, maybe got 3 episodes in, and it just did not do anything for me, so I've not watched it since.
What's really sad, one of the most heartbreaking things that Vince has ever done to me in my life, and there aren't that many of these, is that
I know where we're going here.
He started and liked and then gave up on Lost.
No, I am going to finish that show at some point, Ryan.
Yeah, but you're going to have to restart it because you're not going to remember what happened.
No, I remember where I'm at. I do. So we've got quite a few people joining in here today. If you're not already subscribed to the show, what does it hurt to have one more YouTube show in your arsenal to watch? Give us a subscription or give us a subscribe if you don't mind, and like the show as well. Ryan, what are we going to do this week?
A normal
Thanksgiving
show.
is Thursday.
Oh, it really does not feel like Thanksgiving at all. Just for me personally, it feels like
it's 83 degrees outside.
Well, there's that. That will cool down by the end of the week, but it just snuck up on you. I feel like sometimes Thanksgiving just sneaks up on you, and generally, man, you're locked in on the time of year because you're following the Knowles deep in the season, saying all we got to do is beat Florida. Maybe we make it to the playoffs. But in this case, the Florida game sadly feels like an afterthought right now, which should never be the case, by the way, ever.
And it is. It is.
Now, I am glad it's a daytime game. The old man in me says, "Man, yeah, I can do that. I can stay up till 7, no problem." There's one thing I'm good at, staying up at least till 7 o'clock. Which, Vince, I know odd. You know me. I'm a short sleeper. I sleep 6 hours, 6.5 a night, ideally. Last night, Vince, I don't know if it was the mimosas in the beginning of the day or just the being out and about, but I went to bed promptly at 9:15 last night, and I woke up at 7 on the dot. That's doing what you need to do as far as the sleep. It felt really good.
Yeah. Well, like I mentioned earlier in the show, we had a good day yesterday, Ryan.
Yeah. You probably could have gone out, but I know you were dealing with some family members that works for the wear from the drinks. So I'm assuming that you probably could have still gone out and had a good time.
No, I had way too much, Ryan. Let's just say that we did right by Statesboro yesterday.
I knew it was that what I was doing because when you walked in and saw me in the first quarter, you're like, "You're drinking water?" I'm like, "And a burrito?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's probably a good idea." And you're like, "Nah, man." And you had another drink in your hand. I was like, "Okay." That's Vince is going all in today.
Shout out to the Blue Room, by the way, that with the bottomless mimosas there to start the day, and all you needed to do was get there at open and pay the cover.
It did feel like a trap, though.
It was $10. The cover was $10.
Yeah, but they shouldn't have stopped it at noon, is what I'm saying.
Well, I don't think they did stop it at noon. I think it was still going.
Oh.
But and then they came around and just gave us shots for free, which was interesting. Complimentary shots. So yeah, I think I think that we'll be going back there, Ryan. I know that I'll be going back there. And also, I want to make sure I shout out my buddy Woody and Laura that were great, great hosts for us early in the morning and kind of walked us through to meet some folks that are, Georgia Southern staples, as it were. There was really, really great hospitality there. So I want to thank them too.
Absolutely. I don't think there's much more we can say other than it's going to be a long off season because usually you go into the off season with maybe like even last year, Vince, we went to the off season. We said, hey, at minimum, look, we got these new coordinators and all these new players and look, I mean, it's going to look different. Hopefully it feels different. And then we had the Alabama game and it was like, man, look at us. And then we set records in the first 2 games after the Alabama game. And we're like, look at us. But now you're just like, okay, so the stepbrother scene. So let me get this straight. Mike Norvell's not fired. We're not changing anything, and we're going to roll it back. What the fuck happened? That's how I'm going to feel all off season unless something crazy happens, which nothing crazy is going to happen. There's going to be minor tweaks.
Exactly. Tell me what it could possibly happen between, right now and the opening game of next season that's going to get me excited as a Florida State fan. Just tell me what it is.
We go out and get the Arizona State quarterback.
I'm just saying, but these are all stopgaps to me. This is Band-Aid. This is Band-Aid material. Before we call it a day here, Ryan, we didn't get a chance. I was so anxious to get into the meat of what we were going to talk about. I want to make sure we shout out our sponsors, Captain Black's Fishing in Panama City Beach, Florida. He's a Knoll. He's a former chief. He is the premier charter fishing captain in Panama City Beach. So if you're looking for some charter fishing opportunities, go see him and let him know Garnet and Old sent you. And I also want to shout out our other sponsor for this season, the Palace Saloon, a tradition in Tallahassee.
Unlike any other.
If you spent any time in Tally, especially as an undergrad, you know about the Palace. You've been there. You probably have some great memories. Maybe some of them you can't remember. But the Palace Saloon has been our game day tailgate sponsor for this entire season. So I want to make sure we shout them out as well. Final thing here, Ryan, before we go. And that is, what should I be excited about?
I thought you were going to say, what the hell?
What should I be excited about?
Our cruise in 3 weeks.
That's right. Well, Florida State-wise. Follow me on X. Follow Ryan on X. He is at Big Papa East. I am at VC Knoll. I want you guys to message me, tweet at me. What is it that I need to be excited about for next season? Because right now, I don't feel like this is it. Like, this ain't it. So, nothing personal. It just ain't working.
You need to get a lot better.
Send Chiefs all the damn time. Go Knowles.
Go Knowles.